ain't coming, I ain't vision in the past. About to jump into the bag. They ain't coming, they ain't. I saw the whole thing coming, I ain't vision in the past. About to jump into the bag, to the bag, to the whole thing coming.
We are something else.
All right. Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 227, Cutlass Supreme. It is a Black Business Series episode. It is your boy Kaleo. It's CB, Izzy Rich, with our special guest tonight, Mr. Kev Brown. Welcome to the show, Kev.
Big salute. We out this joint. Big salute, everybody out there.
Man,
Appreciate
it's funny how this show came together, man. Welcome everybody in the chat. I see Kendall B, see Dimitri, I see Dave J, I see Risa, I see Kasia, I see Kels Smith. Kels, he's supposed to be doing this the sneaker show with us in a couple weeks. So I'll reach out to you, bro. And I see my bro Ken Star. All right, man. It's gonna be a good night tonight. I'm feeling it. So let's start off. Let's see how everybody's doing tonight. E Rich, what's good with you, bro? How's your week?
Work's been working again. That's seems to be the flavor, you know what I'm saying, this week or the last month or two, you know what I'm saying, but we still pushing. But that's why we got these Thursdays to get away from the the bullshit for a little bit and have a good time and learn a thing or two.
Absolutely. Michelle, welcome in. Stocky Mac, welcome in. Amanda, welcome in. CB, what's good with you, bro?
Man, so I've been using PTO for my 9 to 5. But all that's doing is making me condense 5 days of work into 4 days during the work week. So, yeah, I'm ready for the weekend already, bro. But we always look forward to Thursdays, chopping it up with the homies. And I mean, we got a great show on tap tonight. Excited to talk to Kev.
Absolutely. Kev, brother, welcome to the show. How's your week going so far, brother?
Hey, it's going okay, man. Can't complain, we still here. We out this joint. Yeah.
All right. I feel you. Week's been good for me. We had a couple of challenges today, but I guess it's always good to be challenged. My current admin team that's ahead of me always out to challenge your brother these days, which is fine. Gotta make sure you're getting your money's worth out of me, I'm assuming. But other than that, look, I've been looking forward to this episode. We're gonna tie this episode in with the Ken Star episode. It's gonna be an amazing night. So with all that, look, let's get to it. We got a lot of questions, a few questions to get going. With that said, let's rap. Let's talk some hip hop. Let's talk music tonight. All right. So one of the most anticipated albums of 2025 comes with controversy, I have to say. Clips, making their long-awaited return, announced they are finally dropping their fourth studio album, Let God Sort Them Out. 16 years since Till the Casket Drops. All right. But with all that, we knew last year we were waiting on a feature. That was the story last year. Oh, we're waiting on this last feature. Get the album as soon as we get this feature. Okay. Well, then it recently broke in an interview that the Def Jam, the duo's former label, wanted Pusha T and Malice to remove or censor Kendrick Lamar's feature on the song Chains and Whips from their upcoming album. The label parent company, UMG, was concerned about the optics of Pusha and Kendrick being on the same track, given their feud with Drake. Pusha T revealed in an interview with GQ that Def Jam asked him to censor the verse or remove it, which he refused to do. When Clips refused to remove or censor Lamar's verse, negotiations began for them to get dropped from Def Jam. Ultimately, they agreed to pay a 7-figure sum to be released from their contract. both the Clips and Pusha T's solo deal. Now, Stephen Vector, and then he also announced that it wasn't like a $200,000 buyout. No, they were deep in their pockets, and they both paid out of their own pockets to get out of this deal, which is crazy. Now, my question is, now I know with lawsuits, you know, labels or people got to move a certain way, you know, because you don't want to open yourself up for more litigation, right? Especially against somebody like Drake, who probably one of your top artists. You don't want to, open that up or have any more complaints from him. So legally, I guess Def Jam had to put themselves in a position to do this. But bro, do you know how big this album is potentially going to be after 15 years? These guys are coming back together to do this album, and you're just gonna let them walk? And the way the music industry is shaped these days, Def Jam does not hold the same muscle that it held in the 80s and 90s and some of the 2000s. And you're gonna let this album just go? I mean, all right, thoughts. Let's start with Kev. Kev, thoughts on the Clips new album. Are you excited about it, and about Def Jam just letting them walk?
Check 1 2. I'm here.
Yep.
I mean, that's wild. They on Def Jam. I mean, Def Jam, I guess, ain't what it used to be. Hey, they big famous artists. They can do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Are you checking for the album?
I'm gonna definitely listen to it when it comes out. I'm not super I never really been super Clips fan like that.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
Salute though. They from VA. You know what I mean? Big salute.
Absolutely. CB.
Neptunes and all that crack.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I mean, I think you kind of laid out why Def Jam needed to collect a 7-figure sum from them in order to let them go. You know what I mean? Because I thought the game was about making money, right? And to me, Kendrick and Pusha getting on a track together just sounds like printing money right now. So I don't think this is necessarily gonna, have history look back on it as being like the smartest business decision that Def Jam ever made. I just can't foresee that happening. But hey, teach their own. I'm happy that the Clips feel better about their situation. You know what I mean? Because they're with Rock Nation now, or
at least for the distribution.
Yeah. So Push has got enough clout, and with Malice being back to the old Malice, like these guys are prime position to take off here. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm definitely excited about a new Clips album.
Absolutely. Thoughts?
For sure, looking for this album. I think it also kind of raises the question, how many other artists would probably be able to pull off being able to pay to get up out of their deal. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of talk of what money that you do have, and if rightfully so, you haven't dropped a lot of music, or if let's call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? The last Pusha T album was with under Ye's good music, right? So you're looking like what's been done where you can sit there and just look at your bro literally and be like, all right, we gotta go to the bank real quick. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure that's what the conversation was, but it's managing money the best way possible, but then also doing the lick, because then you got they ended up doing a deal where they got 3 different setups where they probably gonna come, they're making out better than what they were being under Def Jam. So I think it goes further, especially when you talk about music, like, and now with the streaming situation, I if nothing else, I guarantee you this is one of those things where this was actually the best thing that probably could have happened for this situation, was for them to be removed from Def Jam and almost kind of probably have a better angle at getting this, money towards how this album is going to drop. The anticipation is crazy, like it is. So
yeah. I mean, so a couple things here. Like you said, they quickly got the distribution deal through Rock Nation now, and some people are thinking it's more than just distribution because they actually took a picture in front of the paper planes, and with all that, we knew the story last year was they were eagerly waiting on his last feature. Now we know Push can easily get verses out of Jay like nobody else. There's only 2 people Jay can give verses to, and Pusha is one of them. So if that's the case, I'm more intrigued now. I know I was intrigued beforehand because of the reunion, but now if you got Jay on there, the way this is shaping up, this is gonna be a hot album. So
they're also, because we got like Griselda fans and everything on the panel and in the chat, like Stove apparently has a heater on there. So that's what they're saying.
Listen, Stove is secretly been having probably the best verses like on a lot of tracks within the last 2-3 years, bro.
Oh yeah, Stove for sure.
I think it's a hook, like from that GQ article. So, just got to be on the lookout.
I wouldn't mind West Side either. That'd be dope. All right. So look, music industry is shifting. We all know that. Hell, I just dropped shameless plug an AI album a few weeks back. Sweets in the Soul Show. Shirt right there, holla at me. AI is evolving constantly, and now we are seeing someone that has earned his stripes in the game look to embrace and evolve it as well. Timbaland launches an AI music company, Stage Zero, with first AI artist Tata. Grammy-winning artist and producer Timbaland launched a new AI-focused entertainment venture called Stage Zero. The company has launched its first AI artist, Tata, according to the press release June 5th. Timbaland said, "She is not an avatar. She's not a character. Tata is a living, learning, autonomous music artist built with AI." Okay. Tata is the start of something bigger. She's the first artist of a new generation. A-pop, I'm assuming artificial pop. Okay, A-pop is the next cultural evolution, and Tata is the first icon. Now, again, this is something that I don't think we could avoid. We saw it with holograms at concerts. We saw it in the beef last year. And we're seeing it in voiceovers, all kinds of stuff. And now Timbaland, somebody who has proven themselves in the music industry, who's probably run out of ideas, and this is probably something that's probably helped motivate him to take something to the next level. Stony Brook, what's up? So I want thoughts on this, because we're all music consumers, a couple of us producers. I want to know your take on how you feel about AI getting ready to make its way into mainstream music. And we all know about it because beforehand, maybe it was kind of quiet, but now Timbaland launching his label, we're going to see it. E, thoughts?
You and I talked about this earlier, so I'll kind of throw it to the crew as well as the comment section. The conversation that Timbaland had with Guru, and what Guru was saying is what part of it I understand and I agree with, which is you can feed AI Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt, and then also feed it Jay-Z's 444. The problem is you're not going to get the human element of what was taught, what was learned, what was lived through those projects up until that time. So you're going to get a very technical part of it, but there's not going to have a human element to it, right? And I think that's always what has been the standout part of music, is the human element of music, the emotion, the pain that you hear from a Scarface, on a song with Beans and Jay-Z, who, when you listen to that song and then you hear Beanie actually talk in the interview, he was like, no, that actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Scarface got a call while they was recording the song that his man's son, you know what I'm saying, passed away. He wrote about it right then and there. AI can't give you that feel. It can't. I don't care what you do, what you put in, you know, in place for that to happen. Your story is your story as much as you want to type it in. Now, from the other side of technology, because we have to be honest with it about it. Some people spoke on this, and it might be, you know, a little faux pas, but I'll say it anyway. The game changed once CDs and physical copies went away, but the game was changed without us being a part of that. And now that the streaming service is the whole thing, the industry is a different place. And so I think Tim is looking at it from a standpoint of, I'm gonna be on the trying to get in on the side where we gonna be around and not the last to the party, where we getting pennies like we were every other part of how the music evolved as far as the distribution of it, right? So that element of it is different, but the whole AI part, you can't get the emotion off of a real person from that shit.
Right. Okay. CB.
There are a lot of layers to it. And I think some of the issues that people are having are, one, like E mentioned, you know, the lack of the human element, what some people might refer to as like the soul, you know, of the music and everything. But also you got people talking, like coming at this from angles of like cultural appropriation. And like, so this is the example. Kaleo puts out a AI based album, Sweets in the Soul Show. It's a group of brothers, right? This is Tata is an Asian chick. You know what I mean? Timbaland, last time I checked, you know what I mean? So that's where like some of the stuff I was reading online, people are, you know, they're talking about, hey, yo, there are actual artists out in Asia that would love to have the opportunity to work with Tim. You know what I mean? Like, but we are in this world where it's about influencers, right? And guess who, in my opinion, is hard to control? A real actual human being, right? But if this is just code, you know, she's not a real person. She gonna be fighting Tim when he's telling her to like go back in the studio? Like, come on, bro. You know, Tim's not making her walk to you know, the
cheesecake.
You know what I mean? Cambodian, you know. So, you know, like that's kind of, I think, where some of this stuff is coming from. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, to each their own. I'm going to kind of compare it to people that like to buy reps, like the shoes, right? As long as you're telling me that you're not trying to pawn this off as something that it's not, then I'm cool with it, man. Do it, you know, do your thing. Be open that it is AI, like, you know, because that's the thing. Nowadays it's getting really hard to tell when all you're doing is scrolling on IG or on Twitter and X, and you can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not.
All right, absolutely. Kev, thoughts on the AI?
I mean, I'm an artist, so I mean, it seems like it's you know, Terminator. We all seen Terminator, right?
For sure,
coming to get us. You know what I mean? It's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's slowly, surely happening. But you know, I guess the art is one of the easiest things to kind of mimic, I guess. So
have
yeah,
you
I'm not
dabbled
really
in it
the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
What's that?
Have you dabbled
Just
have you
have, what?
in
What was that?
the AI stuff? Have you used any of it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely dabbled in it. Used some of it, but it's for like the reasons it's kind of meant to be for. You know what I mean? It's not you know, it's not no Lex Luthor type ish. You know what I mean? just using it to enhance art, or even just sometimes personally I will write some stuff and put it in and copy and paste it and put it in the AI and be like, can you punch this up and make
Mhm.
it sound a little better? Like stuff like that. Grammar corrections and things like that.
Absolutely.
But I'm not like, yo, I'm about to do a whole, I mean, no disrespect, but I'm not going to be like, yo, I'm doing a whole AI album. Like, I'm not.
I feel you. And so,
I'm way too old school to even do that. Like,
I got you.
crazy.
So I'll make this kind of I'll tell both sides of it, right? So I've been doing music since probably sophomore year in high school, right? Got all the drum machines, got the technology, got the Reasons, had the Fruity Loops, had all that. And that's it's always been fun to do that and just to create music. And then some of the issues that you kind of run into sometimes is like sample clearances. And or if you got a sound in your head, you need you want to hear a 70s soul choir singing ABC, the ABC, something like that. Well, now
sample wise, like you saying, I gotta give you some points for that, because
yes, so that's
a plus.
absolutely, because
Yeah.
the way Ye was getting them soul samples cleared for all his projects back in the day, I can imagine the Pretty Penny, and now I can kind of create my own soul sample and not have to worry about paying all that money off the break before I can even put the track out. I can create a Breathe and not have to pay for that sample that Just Blaze had to come out to ask for that sample, for that song. So I mean,
Right.
It was fun. It's different. And so, and then like I said, I did the whole Sweets in the Soul Show thing, and it just started off as like, let me just do one song just to try it out, and then it ended up being like 5 songs. Oh well, you know what? Boom. Then I got my writer's block went away, and we got back into it. But yeah, so it's cool. I would love to see how it's going to evolve.
I mean, it could spark creativity, like you saying. Like
For
it's another, for an artist, it's another tool in the Batman utility belt. You know what I mean? It's another tool to use, but in the wrong hands, like I'm saying, like
Absolutely.
it's it could be some take over the world ish. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely. What did Sean say, CB?
He was talking about it's going to lessen the money going to the publishers because of the samples.
Right. That's what I was kind of saying. That. Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that these companies know how to pivot with it right now either. Like it's evolving and everything is still so new at some points. Like you don't know who gets paid. You don't know who gets the rights. Like right now, if you use any of those AI platforms, they tell you if you have the premium subscription, you own the rights. But if you don't, we own it. So at that point, that's a $100 difference in owning your stuff and not owning it.
And the record company has been suing these AI companies because they're like, yo, the way that these AI, like, let's be real, AI is not what they're talking about. Like this, we're not at Skynet yet, right? Like Tata isn't going to be like we were talking about, she's not going to be arguing back and forth with Timbaland, in the studio. Like, so them trying to play it off as like, no, it's not an avatar. Like, yes, she is. You know what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted. But these companies, in order for the AI to quote unquote learn or whatever, they're like literally uploading millions of like copyrighted music, right? Like that's how, it's like coming up with this stuff and everything. So it's one of those things where, again, like we were saying, it's not coming like organically from somewhere. It's, somewhere just code at the end of the day.
Right. That's a good point.
It's learning from some. They used to call it machine learning, right? Mm-hmm. So it's learning how to do it like a person does. So, you know what I mean? But it's a computer. You know what I mean? Man is wild. You know what I mean? Mankind is
it's great.
It's wild.
It's how far
wild stuff. We had mad movies that told us not to do this. Like, yo, don't do it. Still
Right.
doing it.
There's more Jurassic Park movies coming out, guys. You know what I mean?
It started with ringing up your own groceries at the grocery store. And got rid of the clerk.
I hate it.
And now they're getting, All right. Where we at? Oh, we all right.
Shoes. I knew that would get your attention on this show. Check out the Mad Hatter. You hit the lights, and he comes to life. Doreen is so creative, she can make anything that you can think of. The ships and the lightsabers on this cup, she made them by hand. Only a crazy person would use this many stones on a duck. She turned this into this, and everything is handcrafted, so it's quality. She made his mask in like 3 hours for his video shoot. You can come by and make stuff yourself, or you can go to the website and have her make everything for you.
At D-Cup Cosmos, you get the best. No sublimation, no factory press.
Shout out to D-Cup Customs. Save 15% when you go to dcupcustoms.com. Shout out to Dimitri. Shout out to Doreen. WRC15. Get yourself a cup. Get yourself a pen. CB is up next on 3 The Hard Way Show to design his personal cup. I went on there, personalized mine.
Yeah.
Everything's about me. I got the Jordan infrared 6s on here. I guess my avatar. We are something else. Neptune's Pharrell, one of my favorite producers. DC. We got Chuck Brown representing on there. We got the Prince symbol. Everything, man. So yeah, shout out to Dimitri, Doreen, dcupcustoms.com. All right, and we're at the point now. Let's getting serious in here. It's getting real. It's time for our Black Business Series with the brother Kev Brown in the house.
Here we are. All right.
Here we are. So pretty much, Kev, we're gonna go a few rounds just asking you some questions, and then we'll talk about but then we have some unpopular opinions coming up after that, and then some sneakers, and we probably about to be up out of here. So how it's gonna go is I'm gonna probably just ask the first question, and we'll get the ball rolling. All right.
Word up. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, let's do this one. What inspired you to get into producing music?
Nice one. Growing up just listening to a lot of dope music. I don't want to, hold you too long, but
Keep going. We got time.
just growing up in a family of musicians. My dad played guitar, mom played piano, sang, and everybody was musical. Even in high school, my brother played he played a saxophone. He played the keys. My sister sang. Just super musical family. Having records, and all around, holiday season, Jackson 5, Christmas, all that stuff. Just music. With it, just being in your life. You know what I mean? And you look back and it's like, yo, it's mad music that goes along with everything. But for like hip hop and making beats, I would say like Pete Rock is my favorite. You know what I mean? Number one favorite producer. But I grew up listening to EPMD, and like all that. And you would look on the joints and it would say produced by EPMD. You'd be like, oh, what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, okay, they did the beats, they did they did everything. Okay. Look at Gangstar, it'd be like Premier did the production. Oh, what? Okay. Then you come to find out they did the beats and all that. So it's like, like Pete Rock and Premier, it's like, oh, they did scratches and beats. They, you just think at first like he the DJ, but then it's like, oh, he make the beats too. Like, oh, okay. And then you get into it later on, and start listening. There was no YouTube or nothing back then, but you just you learn by listening and all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
All that come from. But yeah, like without making the story too long, like it's Quincy Jones and all types of people is in there, but
yeah, Quincy
hip hop wise, Pete Rock is the guy.
Gotcha. CB.
So Kev, kind of along those same lines, but was there a first either instrument or piece of technology or equipment, that you got that really helped push you in the like the production like into that space, or that first
Yeah.
piece of equipment that you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing this for real now?
Well, early was speaking of early, shout out Early Reed. I got shout out Early Reed. Early Reed is the first person I ever see do a pause mix. You know what that is? Like or make a pause beat, like with a cassette deck.
Mhm.
And I
Old school.
learned from Early Reed. Yeah, that's super duper. You gotta have a nice tape deck to do that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it come from that. Then back in the days, just I started off rapping, and then I wanted original beats. You first start off back in the day. You first start off rapping. You would go to the open mics and stuff, and like you get the cassette single from Sam Goody or whatever, and they would have the instrumental on it, and you know what I mean. And you would go to the open mic and just rock over you know what I mean, track number 2 or whatever. You know what I mean. But like you want original beats to rap on. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I wanted original stuff to rap on. So I was like, let me get into the beats. You know what I mean? And started making joints and learning, that whole science of making beats. So the first stuff I had was electronic equipment, not a tape deck. Was my man's let me borrow like a Gemini sampler. Y'all remember those? I don't know if y'all remember those. Gemini
I've seen the
sampler
Gemini. Yeah.
with the big circle sampler on it. It might have like 8 seconds. And, you know what I mean? So like the tape deck was still involved with that. So because you got to overdub, you know what I mean? You do your drums, then you overdub your you know what I mean? Your sample pianos, then you you know what I mean? Mad hissing your cassette tape. Stuff like that. Then I got a 4-track, you know what I mean? Later, you know what I mean? It's a whole progression. Get a 4-track and start learning about that and overdubbing on that and all that stuff. And then beat machine wise, before I got the MPC 2000 XL, I had a machine called the Akai S20. You can Google that. And it didn't have it had a 4-track sequencer on it, but it wasn't like a sequencer that would like loop your sequence. You couldn't make like a 4-bar loop or no type of, you had to just like, it dealt with more simpler. It was basically 4 tracks that you could like do different, stuff on different tracks on it. But like that was like what I was using before I got the MPC. And then from there I started just using MPCs. But I had between that, I had the SP 505, the 404. I had the 404 for a minute.
The 505? You said the
Yeah,
505.
505. Yeah, 505 was dope.
Man, I still use this thing.
Yo, 505 is dope, man. 505 is dope.
Yeah. E.
Yeah.
So you had you mentioned EPMD, and kind of like early influences. So I listen. I'm definitely the one that swings for the fences off breaks. I'm about to fuck your head up real quick, real second, Kev. EPMD's in front of you, right?
Right.
What are you playing for them out of your catalog?
Oh,
If you had one song that you had to play.
Set up the scenario. Did I know that EPMD was coming to town, or
we gonna take?
I
we
knew.
taking it back. Yeah, we taking it back to Juice, right? We taking it back to Juice.
I
like
get
when
Batman prep time. Is
okay.
that what we doing? I get Batman prep time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm Batman. All right, we good. If I got prep time, I know EPMD coming to town or whatever, they checking for beats. I'm making some EPMD beats.
All right, because I'm gonna look.
Pound, pound. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna
All
play
that
that,
shit. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like
gonna play
all
that
that stuff. Like
the Batman joint tomorrow on the radio program. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna set up the scenario and pull it out.
that's automatic. Like that's if anybody, like if Ghostface was like, yo, I'm looking for beats. Immediately I'm on the beat machine, like, hold on, Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Immediately. You know what I mean?
Supreme
But
Client
and
7.
also I might have some stuff already, you know what I mean, that might fit that because I make mad beats anyway. But you know, I would be inspired if you know what I'm saying,
Gotcha.
if the actual cat hit me up like, yo, I need joints. I'll be like, and you know that person's style or whatever, I'll be like, "Pfft,
Big.
I'm here.
No shit.
We here. We out here, yo. Like I'm on it. You know, and I would just make a big folder and be like, blah, here you go.
Okay.
You
All
can
right,
pick
here we go.
something.
So we just had Ken Star up on the screen. Now we know Ken is dropping cold, and what, like, is it a week? It's shortly. We had
20.
Ken on
Yep.
the 20th.
Coming
We
out
had
the
Ken on a couple
20th.
ago. So my question is, I want to tie them together. So Ken has been out the game for a while. For all I know, I've been hitting the brother. Where you at? You know, hit the studio with me. Let's just see what we can do. All right. But all of a sudden, man, it seemed like one guy or one producer he wanted to work with coming back into the game, and that was you. So my question for you is, what was it like getting Ken back out there in the game, because he hadn't put anything out in a while, and you're the guy that's got to give him the sound or give him something to put out to the masses. What was that like working with him on this project?
That's an easy question. Working with Ken Starr is no problem at all. You know what I mean? Working with Ken Starr is good times. You know what I mean? I've known Ken Starr since, like, how long, Ken Starr? Since when you was in high school or something, right? Like you know what I mean? Him and Sean Bourne used to kick it. I go over to Sean Bourne's house, he over there. You know what I mean? So it's and he was talented off the rip. Like all these guys I know, they somehow I don't know how, but like they knew how to do like studio etiquette. They knew how to. They had mic control, and you know what I mean. They take direction, like you know what I mean. Like, yo, we could punch in right here. All right, rap along with it. Punch in, bow, sound good. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's just normal chemistry, I guess. You know what I mean?
Okay. Ken said 25 years with the bro. Okay. I mean, if you got the chemistry,
Well,
you know what the brother need when he's putting himself back out there. All right, CB.
yeah, we didn't look at it like, yo, you back out. You know what I mean? We didn't
Okay.
look at it like we just was making music at the time. Now
Okay.
we looking at it like, oh, you back out here, bro. Like, we didn't think about it at the time, though.
Got you.
Kev, at least for our crew, especially over the last couple of years, been really heavy into listening to like artist producer projects. And for a long time, it seemed like the state of the game was albums, and a lot of projects had, a lot of producers on them. And it seems like things are starting to go back to, kind of like the one producer and artist working together, putting a cohesive project together. My question for you this time around is, how would you classify your sound, your style relative to, other producers out there?
Man, my style, Kev Brown style, Kev Brown sound, right? I would say it's soulful. You know what I mean? It's inspired by all the greats like we talked about before. Progressive comes to mind also, because it's like, of course I grew up on that classic stuff, but I'm still trying to push the envelope sonic wise. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then the rest of it, I'll just leave for like other people to talk about because I don't want to talk about myself in third person. And so, well, right, Deion Sanders got to do what's right for Deion Sanders. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, E.
Go too far into it.
All right, Kev. Question I got for you is, what would you, with the knowledge you know now, what would you tell your younger self before you started down this path?
Yo, that would be crazy if I could hit the warp zone and go back. That's crazy. It's so much information. How long would I have with my younger self? Do I have a week? Do I have a day? Is it like Bill and Ted? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, and then you
That's funny.
disappear, but it's so much. I would be like, it's a lot of crazy stuff about to happen, but in a good way. In a bad way, also, I would be like, make sure you get your business right. Of course, cliche. But and also I would tell myself to watch out. You know, the internet is changing. You know what I mean? Like, because
Right.
back when I first started, like it was like the MySpace days. So and like AOL online, you got mail, stuff like that. So
Classic.
it was a different time. So I would be like, it's going to be social media. If I had time, I would break it down. Like, yo, it's going to be social media, and like da 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 da. Da. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really got to sign to no labels. You could put your own music out. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Politics would not exist.
would
Like
Exactly that stuff.
music politics would
yeah,
not exist.
I would,
without knowledge.
yeah, I would break down. That's some. Speaking of Terminator, that's some definitely go back in time. That's some Terminator
Right.
stuff.
So this is a two-part question. We can make this the last round, fellas, so we can do the top three and then the other stuff. How long was making this Cold album? How long was the process? And what's your favorite track off the album?
You know what? I truthfully don't remember how long it took to do this album. I feel like we just did it at the time. For real, Ken could probably talk about this better because to me, we was just doing songs. Like we was kind of working, chilling, kicking it, and like doing songs. Like, cause he would come over, we would kick it, and he would purposely, like, I would play him some beats. That's what it was. I would play him some beats, and you know, he would be like, yo, what's up with so and so, so and so, and he would, pick some beats, and then we might kick it and crack jokes, watch stuff online, whatever, listen to other stuff, listen to whatever, play some stuff he got, whatever. But then he would come back, be like, yo, let's record some stuff. I think, that's kind of how stuff kind of worked out.
Gotcha.
But then it came to a point where we had a collection of songs, and it was like, oh, this is kind of like an album right here. And then when you put the interludes and stuff with it, it's like a full project. But the workflow is so cohesive that it was, it's like, yo, because you never know with these cats. You never know. Cats got real life and stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it's like getting a couple of songs done is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even be thinking about a whole album anymore. Let alone, you know what I mean? But
Gotcha. What's the favorite track?
Favorite track? You know what? We worked on this album so hard. Pause. That I can't really pick a favorite track. The album is dope. Like you were saying earlier, it's different. It sounds different. It's hip hop, just like whatever hip hop you listen to, but it's that something different because it's our interpretation of hip hop. You know what I mean? It's what we do. So, and a lot of people gravitate towards what we do as it's like, oh, okay, I like this. It's not like it's like changing the game or nothing. I'm not here to you know, I don't know what I've done to maybe innovate, but I am trying to be progressive, um, and just make stuff that people like, that soulful music. Like we was talking about before, the AI might not have that soul, but
Mhm.
we coming with the soul, man, and Ken coming with the super duper MC raps. You know what I mean? That's
Look, I'm excited
that's
about that. CB.
Taking it back to hip hop, like real hip hop and all that. I guess Kev, outside of this project coming up, what else can we look forward from you in the near future, hopefully?
Oh, next up, definitely Hassan Maki is next up, from Rochester, New York. Super MC. Um, I don't know if anybody out there know about. If you know about Hassan Maki, say something in the comments, maybe. But
I'm gonna check him out. I'm definitely gonna look out
That's
for
the plug right there.
yeah, Hassan Maki is super nice, part of Low Budget Crew, and super
Okay.
dope MC as well as producer too. You know what I mean? He make beats and rhyme. He's mostly known for rhyming, but he got beats though, and he's super nice with it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
E.
He has previous albums already that but we ain't got to go into it. But he has previous albums.
Check it. I'm definitely gonna check it.
And he's on other previous releases of mine also. So
So I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask this question because I am who I am. I'm gonna be who I be.
do it.
I know you from the East Coast. I don't know if you can kind of tell that I'm from the other side of the land, but
West
you
Side.
talked about your influences over there, but I guess I gotta ask, what were some of your West Coast influences? And
Yeah, West Coast.
real quick,
Funky.
I when you said funky, and here's the thing, like I heard some of the music, and this is just my ear, and I have to be honest with this.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot that made me almost feel it had to feel like it was almost like the East Coast DJ Quick.
That's a big compliment. Wow.
Right? The funk kind of like mentality, you know what I mean, that you have behind it, and just
Word.
it's the ear, right? And because like I said,
Yeah.
unfortunately, not unfortunately, I was that that kid that was listening to DJ Quick mixtapes when he wasn't supposed to, because I'm in the car with my brother, you know what I mean? But
Wow.
hearing like how he grew and what he used and how he used it and how he still called himself a nerd, but just like the naturalization of the game and like your ear, I that's what I'm hearing from it. And again, it's a lot more of a sleeper context, but it's somebody who can contractually put everything together a way that nobody else can hear it unless you really around that time. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I love it. Like getting compared to DJ Quick, that's compliment of the day right there. What else can I say? I'm JJ right now. What more can I say? I don't know what else. You know what I mean? But yeah, like West Coast is definitely an influence. I didn't mean to leave out. I'm influenced. I'm from Maryland. You know what I mean? So I'm not really like tied to know. You know what I mean? Yo, this East Coast over here, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I never. I listen to everything. Far Side was fire. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my
I
God,
listen
Farside,
to
crazy.
King T, and you know what I mean? Hieroglyphics, all that. Mad Lib, what? Come on, like everybody out. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in the '90s, so that stuff that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like it was a mix of everything. Yeah, but like West Coast though, of course, Dr. Dre, Battle Cat, funky. You know what I mean? Um, yo, Snoop, his ear for beats, Snoop ear for beats is immaculate. Um, it's mad people that we exhibit new album is rocking. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I like that.
it's the list goes on. I grew up with all that stuff. Tupac, um, Soldier Story, Tupac Soldier Story, it's crazy. Even though technically he from Baltimore, I guess, or whatever, but West Coast claims him too. But yeah, man. Farside, Alcoholics. Y'all know the Alcoholics?
Yep. Very familiar with Alcoholics.
That's my
Um,
J-Ro, my cousin.
wow. Salute.
Yeah.
Crazy, yo.
It's dope.
Yo.
All right.
Crazy. The second album where it starts with everybody freestyling. That joint crazy.
Right. There we go. All right. So as we hold on, wait a minute. Let's talk about. Appreciate the Q&A, Kev. We give everybody homework. Give everybody homework when they come on the show. Top 3. We ask for top 3 movies, albums, but then I went a little further actually for your top 3 producers. So I'm interested to hear. Let's start with the movies. What are your top 3 movies of all time?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of cheat because I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So I was a child in the 80s, grew up, kind of teenager in the nine, like whatever, 12 to, teenager. So it's too much stuff, man. It's too much stuff. Star Wars, like the OG Star Wars before all the extra stuff. Like Indiana Jones, Superman, the Christopher Reeve Superman joints, like
Okay.
you know what I mean? It's too much.
Okay.
It was too much. Color Purple, New Jack Swing, from New Jack Swing, Crush Groove, The Last Dragon, Beat Street.
Oh my God, Beat Street.
Like we can go into all different genres and stuff. Like the time I grew up in was, you know what I mean? It was a crazy time. Like I can't narrow it down. And all of that inspired, that's inspired me to do my art. You know what I mean? I'll watch a movie and get inspired to make beats. You know what I mean?
I got you. All right. What about the albums?
Albums, too many. I'm cheating still. Like it's too I've been doing this a long time. I've been, you know what I mean? I'm probably older than everybody up here. I've been listening to mad stuff. You know what I mean? Like stuff I could put you on this some stuff. You'd be like, you listen to this? Yeah. You know what I mean? But just from like sampling music, just like finding new samples to sample, and then you end up being a fan of the person you sampling. It's a rabbit hole of just infinite music. Oh, check this out. Oh, check this, different genres of music. But some of my favorite stuff is of course the stuff I grew up on. The Stevie Wonders, of course, and
Okay.
just it makes me think about like my dad's record collection, stuff like that, Nat King Cole and stuff. You know what I mean? Like and like I said before, Quincy Jones album. My brother listened to like Steely Dan, you know what I mean? And James Taylor. Y'all know James, like
Yeah.
just crazy, you know what I mean? It's a combination of just all types of incredible stuff. Salute to Sly Stone, just passed away.
Incredible collection of body of work from Sly. Okay. What about
yeah,
your
like so just what's that?
What about your producers? Yeah.
Of course, Pete Rock is in there. Yeah, of course. Pete Rock is up there, Premier is in there. And then I'm gonna just say like you can, I mean, I know I would need more than 3, of course, but I'll say I don't know. I don't want to narrow it down to three. I'm afraid of commitment. You know what I mean? Like my list is going to change tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But Pete Rock is still going to be at the top. And it could be Jay Dilla, it could be Diamond D, it could be Large Professor, it could be
Yeah.
Knots, it could be. It's too many. You know what I mean? There's too many people to EPMD. You know what I mean? Like Eric and Parrish was nice. Q-Tip, DJ Scratch. Man, it's too many people to. I'm inspired by all these people. High Tech. It's mad people that just grew up listening to. I grew up listening to these people, like with the clips. People watch old clips of that online. I was there when it was really happening on like BET or whatever, Rap City or whatever. I'd be like, I remember that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I miss those shows. Like that used to be a Friday platform to have 106 and see artists perform. Because I watched the BET Awards the other night, and it just didn't feel the same. Like they just put whoever's hot at the time. There is no lead into it anymore because there is no shows that shows videos, so you really don't have like an idea who these artists are if you're not into their music. So it's just it is what it is. But what I did do, yeah. I mean, I wish I had a DC Shop Pie when I was eating. Look, DC Shop Pie, the official pizza of the We Are Something Else podcast. Save 10%, WRSE10. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Margaret. Black owned business. We're about Black business series. They're based in DC. So DC style Chicago deep dish pizza. You got steak and cheese. You got salmon pesto. You got sausage and pepperoni, whatever you want. And then drop the bomb bread pudding. The Georgetown, which is a Euro pizza. Then you got the Big Chair, which is a chicken and mambo sauce pizza. You know about those areas being from this spot, Kev.
I'm gonna have to see what's up with that. That's the deep dish joint. Yeah,
Chicago deep dish.
I can't eat like I used to, but I'll take a hall pass for that.
Kaleo, put that picture back up with me in the fade.
You in the fade? With this one right here. And then he looked like 4'2", sitting in the baby chair. All right, but
and blind.
And look, it's what is it? Is Evie Wonder? All right, this is where my bro's gonna give an opinion. We may or may not like it, but all right, E, what you got?
So listen, we'll go down this rabbit hole real quick. It is what it is, but it's not necessarily what you think it is in the sense of like when you see the artwork for it. The question that I have for is it just E is based upon not necessarily the album itself, but mainly artists that we have grown with, right? That have aged over time. Wayne just dropped the Carter 6. I believe Ghostface is getting ready to drop Supreme Clientele 2
tonight.
Have we gotten to the part where we're wanting the same flow from an artist that was a part of a collection that was eons ago, thinking that we're going to get the same body of work for that? And a part of it, I think, is an artist it's almost kind of setting themselves up for failure, because by you putting that title of what was predominantly a classic, if it then fumbles, now you getting the scrutiny based upon that, right? So I mean, if this was a different album name, I don't think it gets this much of flack like it did prior to. I can see my bro's face. He's over it already, which is fine. And like I said, I'm not defending anything. I want the conversation to be, are some of our artists that use a classic album title or even a name title and they regurgitate it years later. We talked about this before. Busta Rhymes came out and he tried to drop an album that sounded more like today, but not necessarily old Buster. And because of that, it didn't really hit the ear for us. And I don't even think the younger generation like kind of picked up on it. So with this and also some of the other projects that are kind of reclaiming the name of a classic album, are they doing themselves a disservice by naming it what potentially was their classic and still further going along with it and making it watered down at this point?
Look, you could have named the Carter 6 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. The shit is horrible. It don't matter what name it had. It didn't stand up to it just doesn't belong in that. I know what you're saying. All the bodies of work. We're at Carter 6. It's time for a name change. Like Jay-Z knew to end the blueprint when he did because it just wasn't the same. The Carter series could have ended at 4 for me, honestly. But you know, it is what it is. It's just my opinion. But I mean, shout out to people for trying new things. But if you fail at it, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I get that. And again, this is opinionated in a sense. Like this is it just E? I'm asking based upon artists that are still around that were, like I said, that was doing their thing when we were still kids or when we were younger. By them using the same title again, you and I had the conversation about Wayne's previous project, even if it was him and I think it was him and Chains, and that one didn't hit as well. But again, the title of that one, had that been a different title, I'm saying, well, we'd be giving it the same amount of scrutiny that we are. We're gonna look at Supreme Clientele too, and if that's nowhere near Supreme Clientele, the first one, are we gonna dig it the same way?
Wait, the last stream in Paris part 2. Hold on, we could do this. All right, what's your thoughts, CB?
So I definitely think that when an artist is going to have a series, right? And in hip hop, it's also, and rap, like it's different because you have like, you got mixtapes and stuff too, which can be their own series. And, everything's supposed to represent, something a little bit different, but specific to, whatever the series is. And yeah, I mean, when you got a career that spans, multiple decades and all that, and as a human, it's pretty normal to want to be nostalgic and really just like the stuff from like your formative years coming up. Like, yeah, what did I do after I listened to most of the Carter 6? I turned it off and I went back and I listened to the Drought 3, the Carter 3, and the Carter 2. Like, because I'm like, all right, yeah, some of the Wayne stuff on here, the verses and stuff is fine. I think the beat selection was absolutely awful. And that doesn't lead to a good project. So what did I do? I went back because Mixtape Wayne, I've said it multiple times on the show, I'm not going to change. Mixtape Wayne is my favorite artist of all time, hip hop artist of all time. There's nothing you can say. There's no logical argument you're going to make to me that's going to make me change my mind. Like, it is what it is. Sorry, Ricardo. But like, yeah, there's nothing that Wayne really, the chance of Wayne coming out with the Carter 6 and it being able to, like, in my mind, live up to any of the first 3 Carters, at least, it is kind of setting it up for failure. But my thing is that if this really was supposed to be a Carter album, like, what does that sound now? Because 5 and 6 don't sound like 1 through 4.
All right. Okay.
To Ken's question, yes.
What's the answer?
What's the answer? The Chronic, the sequel, the Chronic 2001, for sure.
You think that's better than the first Chronic?
No. He says He says what album lived up to the original. He
Oh,
say
okay.
what was better, lived up to it.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you Chronic. I'll give you Chronic.
I thought Raekwon's joint was very
Okay.
good also.
Yeah. But like I said, I think when you stand on these projects and you want to keep the series going, like, yeah, there's evolution involved in these projects, but I think the idea is they want to recapture that feeling, right? And sometimes it just falls like Blueprint 2, although was an okay album, but it's probably like 10 tracks too many. It could have probably been called something else, but it was a good album. Even Guru said the issue with that one was it's too many tracks. Like he just put everything on there. So, all right. Where are we at now? Is it time for sneakers? I think that's what time it is.
I think Redman dropped the joint too, right? Redman dropped the Muddy Waters too.
And that's actually not, you're right. That's actually not bad.
That joint funky too, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right, CB. What do you have for that, cop or chop?
So we are breaking out a brand that we like never talk about, hardly ever on here, but Brooks. And when we have spoken about them recently, it's because they've actually gotten on the collab train. And recently, they collab with Pigeon, Jeff Staple, and all that. Now, it hasn't been officially announced, but we're expecting that this is actually going to happen in a few weeks when Don C is on the Brooks panel. But RSVP, the Don C and Virgil, I guess in Denver, Endeavor out there in Chicago, they got a Brooks collab, man. And so this is the Caldera 8. It is a trail shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been officially unveiled, but in the social media age, it's all about leaking some photos, and so we've gotten to see a little bit of a teaser. Don C teasing the shoe on like his socials and all that. So we don't know what the price is going to be yet. I was looking at like the regular version of the shoe goes for about $150. There was about a $35 markup on the Pigeon, the Staple collab that they did compared to the regular shoe. So we could be looking at a pair that's in like the 175, 180 range. We'll see. But are y'all checking for like a Don C Brooks collab? Like, I'm interested. I can't say that this is going to be something that is like I need to buy right away. I like the Staple joints, and I haven't bought those. But how are y'all feeling about these? Are you copping or are you chopping?
I'm gonna go with I want to see. Like the collab game with Brooks these days has been fire. I got the Pigeon joints, and you've seen them in person, and they're comfortable. And then I got the one designed by I can't remember his name right now, but the black design, Ghost Max last year, super comfortable shoe. So Brooks knows, they're diving into a different game now. They're doing collabs. I'm interested to see. So I guess a comp for sure if they look good.
Mm-hmm.
Same sentiment. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where you can see it for what it's supposed to be and what it could be, and you kind of, and I don't even know if this is one of those I need to see it on foot. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get a better idea of like how I would rock it for sure.
Gotcha. Kev, you taking a stab at these, or you letting them go?
I'm gonna let those go. I'm not really, my last name is Brown. I think that's 2 on the nose. Get that up out of here.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, CB.
But they look nice though. They look nice. They look nice.
All right, CB. Shoe and tell.
Yeah.
Some sneakers or whatever you brought to the show.
It's funny you say that because I did bring some sneakers. It's crazy. June 7th, I've showed these off before. But June 7th was the birthday of a Virginia goat for sure. And I got one of his best sneakers that he's, in my opinion, that he's ever done. So we're in the throes of NBA playoff season. These are the step over joints. LA won that series, right? So it's all good. You know what I mean? But yeah, the answer 4 step overs. Shout out to AI.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch it up since we're labeling this, the Black Business Series. You dig? That's why I got my TMC shirt on. The marathon continues. But again, listen, man, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna be about it. So there's also one thing we definitely need to do is support our Black businesses. I probably did this a while back, but I'm still rocking with this brand. Go get you, fellas, Scotch Porter, Black owned out of Jersey. You dig? It's not. We in that realm too. We older now. We gotta take care of everything from the beard to the face. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that good stuff. Go get you some Scotch Porter. We gonna tag them on this too, Cleo, so we can get some sponsorships. You dig? All right. You know what I'm saying? But for real, go get your stuff, man. Hey, listen, I've been rocking with this company for like some years now, like and never disappoint. And they make sure
Stuff is on point.
Yeah, they make sure that they're about the good products too. Not no bullshit. You know what I'm saying, that you put on there that'll mess your stuff up. And especially internally, you dig? Like it's not so much that it's just for face value, but this stuff really works. And you know what I'm saying? It's about our health. So make sure you straight, keep that beard up, face, and all that good stuff. You dig?
Okay. Kev, got anything for shoe and tell?
Word up. Well, first of all, I like the AI joints, the Allen Iverson joints. Them joints is fire.
Classics.
Appreciate that.
But I got a throwback from the 90s here. I'm not the most shoe savvy dude, but I brought, since we're doing like a show and tell, I brought a Timberland boot out. I don't know if you could see this.
Okay. Black. There you go.
I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, man.
Okay.
And that's, that ties into the AI from earlier with Timberland too, I guess you could say. Boom. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just I was going through the closet earlier and I was like, oh snap. I was looking for something else and I saw this. I was like, wait, what? You know what I mean?
There you go.
I only put these on when I go shovel snow. That's the only time these get worn. But back in the 90s though, niggas was playing basketball and shit.
Yep. All right.
Not me, but
I'm gonna kind of run it back. Now I know what that box is. I mean, we got a hometown guy on the show. So show a hometown sneaker. So Seat Pleasants on deck. I showed the Bacons last week. Look, the colorway to this is green. Now, that's what we can't see it, but these are KD 18s, Seat Pleasant colorway. Kind of reminds me of the old Sprite colorway me and Carter was talking about on the show. Soul Tales, which you can find last Thursday of the month. But yeah, dope shoe. These are actually more. I can't believe these are more comfortable than the Bacons. They're the same size, but something different about this shoe. But so yeah, Seat Pleasants under $150, not even bad. So there we go. All right, so let's make some announcements. Let's get some announcements. Make some folks happy and get up out of here. All right, Gen X TV. Where can you find us? Well, that's what you can find Gen X TV outside of YouTube. Download. It's a Black business, Black owned app. Gen X TV. Download on Fire Stick or Roku. But also next week's show. Haven't quite figured out our presence on YouTube on our channel next week, but we will be live on Gen X TV next week. Smoking Spiel. we will be reviewing the movie Sinners. So if you haven't seen Sinners yet, check it out.
Oh,
Spoiler alerts all throughout the show. But yeah, we're gonna have most of the whole crew next week reviewing the movie on Gen X TV. So we got Sinners coming up. There. Look, speaking of AI, there it is. There's the album, Sweets in the Soul Show. Go download that. Go listen to it. It is AI, but it's also, very creative. Then look what we got behind it. We got the shirts. Doing the pre-sale on the shirts. Pre-order on the shirts to say the last day for your pre-order is next week. There's a price listing right there. Sweets in the Soul Show. In his mind, not bad. But and then tomorrow, my normal time on the abstract is not at normally on noon, but I will be filling in for the Kendall B morning show, hosting Funky Friday on Station Head. So come on at your boy WRSE Kaleo, Funky Friday from 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, 8 and 7 in the middle. And then let's talk about this Ken Starr video, because me and Kev are in this video, midnight, right? Ken Starr cold video, not cold, yeah. Hennessy
Cold.
Straight.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. The Cold album is dropping, but the Hennessy Straight. All right. They're coming to get me. Is it happening? But the Hennessy Straight single, Kev Brown, Ken Starr, Kev Brown, featuring DJ John Doe on the cuts. Cuts is crazy. John Doe does all the cuts on the whole album. It's crazy. But yeah, the new single is cracking. My man K is in it. You know what I mean? It's mad features and cameos. Y'all wasn't in town. Y'all would have been in it. You know what I mean? But y'all not, you know what I mean, around the way. Y'all would have been slamming that joint. But yeah, it's cracking. It's dropping at midnight on YouTube tonight.
Which on
yeah.
Ken Starr's page?
On Ken Starr's YouTube channel. Yeah.
All right. Ken, put
Yo,
the
Ken
link
Starr,
put the link in the chat.
Project management.
And then the album is on
I was gonna say, yo, Ken, put the link to the album in the description on YouTube also. Let's get these pre-orders going, Jack.
Yep,
the album is
pre-order.
available to pre-order right now. It's been available for a while. We got a bunch of pre-orders. You could basically type in kenstar.com and his Bandcamp will come up. That's the only place you could pre-order the album right now. It drops 4 days earlier on Bandcamp than it does on the streaming services. And everybody that is on Bandcamp, you can watch the video before it drops on midnight. You know what I mean? Because we put that up like Tuesday, I think, for the Bandcamp people. You know what I mean? But tonight it's dropping on YouTube for the whole world premiere. And we out this joint. You know what I mean? Salute.
All right. Look, you heard it there. Look, that's all. That's how we're going to end the show. Appreciate you, Kev. Stay on for a second once we get up out of here. Talk to you backstage. But appreciate everybody for watching. And let's end on a quick good note. Look, I end the radio show like this every week. Do something for yourself, 30 minutes a day. Like, it's a lot going on out here in this world, a lot of distractions. People want to, deport people. People want to do this and do that. There's a lot of harm going on. There's a lot of bad news. So take care of yourself. Do something 30 minutes a day that only you like to do. Do it for yourself, for your mentals, all that. Check in with your strong friends. Check in on yourself. Mental health is real. Listen to an album, read a book, sit in darkness for 30 minutes. Whatever it is, something that you like to do that can't nobody take away from you but you. So you do it 30 minutes a day. And with all that said, let's hit. All right, I should have had it ready. Here you go.
Follow us on YouTube at WRSC Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe.
All right, y'all. Peace.